Hello and welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Thelma Okoro. At least 2.17 million people have been displaced eternally by the Boko Haram insurgency. The United Nations Refugee Agency released the figures on Monday. The agency said the number of people displaced by conflict is at the highest level since ever recorded. It estimates that about 65.3 million people were either refugees, asylum seekers, or internally displaced at the end of 2015, an increase of 5 million in a year. That means 1 in every 113 people on the planet is displaced. In its annual report marking World Refugee Day, the UN said it was the first time the number of refugees worldwide had passed the 60 million mark. The Nigerian Air Force has stepped up its operation on terrorism by launching the second phase of its airstrikes against Boko Haram insurgents in Borno State, northeast Nigeria. The second phase of the airstrikes was focused on clearing the insurgents from its base in Sambisa Forest and other northern parts of the country. It also headed towards the Difa General Area in Niger Republic to help resupply troops operating in Baga and its surrounding towns.
Crackdown focused mainly on the Sambisa area and the southern Borno, and during the operation some of the insurgents filtered through and are now operating in the north. That's what I mean. So the northern Borno, as you are aware, there were some attacks at Boso, which is a border town between Nigeria and Niger, and other skirmishes around Damasak and so on. So that is what we want to clear. The tempo will increase because we are operating both within and outside our country in coordination with our sister countries.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has rearrested oil magnate Jide Omokore for money laundering charges. Omokore is an ally of former President Goodluck Jonathan and chairman of Atlantic Energy Drilling Concepts in Nigeria. Atlantic Energy was one of the two firms that signed strategic alliance agreements with NNPC's upstream arm NPDC in May 2011 to manage oil blocks sold by oil major Royal Dutch Shell. A federal high court in Abuja has adjourned the trial of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, till September 26th. Kanu is standing trial for treason, management of an unlawful group, and smuggling of radio transmitters and firearms. At the resumed hearing on Monday, Kanu's lead counsel, Chuks Muoma, threatened to withdraw from the trial because one of his clients, Benjamin Madubugu, replaced him with another lead counsel. Muoma has now filed a motion for an adjournment of the trial. The National Association of Resident Doctors in Federal Teaching Hospitals have commenced an indefinite strike action over the non-payment of 10-month salaries of some of its members. The president of the body in Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital, Wole Ayebusi, confirmed this while speaking with journalists in Osogbo. Ayebusi said it was regrettable that government could ignore the payment of some doctors who were on essential duties for as long as 10 months and expect them to be attending to patients in various hospitals. President Muhammadu Buhari has returned to Nigeria after a 10-day official vacation in London. The president had traveled to UK on June 6 to rest and also see an ear, nose and throat specialist for an ear infection. He was due to be back on Thursday last week. However, he extended his stay till Sunday. There have been speculations over the president's state of health since he shelved scheduled visits to Lagos and Rivers States a few weeks ago. Nigerian lawmakers have accused the country's presidency of plotting to remove some of its principal officers. In a statement issued, the Senate accused the Buhari administration of plotting to muzzle the legislature and criminalize legislative processes. The upper chamber said the plot was to cause a leadership change in the National Assembly. The Senate stance followed criminal charges of forgery slammed on Senate President Bukola Saraki and his deputy Ike Kweremadu by the federal government. Also charged alongside the two presiding officers are former clerk to the National Assembly Salisu Makaisu and his deputy Benedict Efeturi. The four are accused of conspiracy and forgery of Senate standing rules that brought Saraki and Ekweremadu to office last year. The Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has condemned the proposed immunity and life pension for presiding officers of the National Assembly after their tenure in office. The immunity and life pension for the presiding officials was proposed by some senators at a retreat on constitutional review organized in Lagos State, Southwest Nigeria on Saturday. A statement signed by Adetokunbo Momoni, the executive director of SERAP, described the proposed life pension and immunity for Senate President Bukola Saraki and Speaker of the House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara as self-serving and despicable. Nigeria's Senate has accused the government of shortchanging the country by reducing the fine of mobile phone giant MTN from an original $5.2 billion to $1.7 billion. The Senate had summoned top government officials to explain what it describes as the ridiculous settlement payment plan. The officials summoned are the Communications Minister and Attorney General of the Federation. Government officials said the fine had been reduced to protect the jobs of some 500,000 Nigerians working for MTN and not to deter foreign investors into the country. The fine was imposed over MTN's failure to disconnect unregistered SIM card users. Oil workers under the aegis of Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Pengasan, has threatened to shut down the nation's oil sector following the recent retrenchment of some of its members by some oil companies. In a statement signed by spokesperson, Pengasan said some oil workers were being sacked from their jobs despite an agreement reached by the Ministry of Labour and oil companies to stop the exercise for now. The group has also given the federal government a 7-day ultimatum starting from Monday, June 20th, to wade into the matter. Over the past few months, now companies have laid off thousands and cut production as well as even closed operations as they struggle to deal with Nigeria's economy. Godwin Obaseki has emerged the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress in Edo State. He picked up the governorship ticket after beating 11 other candidates during the primaries in Benin City, Edo State. Obaseki scored 1,618 votes to defeat his 11 opponents. Governor Aminu Masari of Katsina State, who was present for the election, described it as credible, fair and free and urged the losers and their supporters to put aside their differences ahead of the governorship election. Now, last week, Nigerians were outraged when the U.S. government accused 3 lawmakers of sexual misconduct during a visit to the U.S. Samuel Ikon, who is a member of PDP representing Akwa Ibom, and Mohammed Gololo, who is a member of APC representing Bauchi, as well as Mark Bila, also a member of APC representing Benue State, were accused of sexual misconduct while in the U.S. for the International Visitor Leadership Program in April this year. U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria James Entwistle says Bila and Ikon requested hotel parking attendants to assist them to solicit prostitutes, while Gololo grabbed a housekeeper in his hotel room and solicited her for sex. The 3 lawmakers have since denied the allegations. However, speaking on the issue over the weekend, Speaker of the House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara called on the U.S. government to provide evidence against the 3 lawmakers. He said the concerned lawmakers had indicated they were ready to stand trial in the U.S. for their crimes. Members of the Islamic movement in Nigeria are demanding the unconditional release of their leader Sheikh Ibrahim El-Zakzaki from detention without further delay. El-Zakzaki and his wife have been in detention since December last year after a violent clash between members of his sect and the Nigerian army. Hundreds of people reportedly died in that clash. The pair had filed a suit against the federal government challenging their continued detention by the Nigerian army. In a statement issued by their spokesman, Ibrahim Musa, the Shiites kicked against the explanation given by the Department of State Services that Zakzaki is in protective custody and detained for his own benefit. The group also condemned the DSS for failing to grant him access to his legal team for some months now. Well, we'll now take a short break. When we come back, we'll look at more news stories. Don't go away.
That was a very good business.
Yeah.
The furniture you brought was very perfect.
That's how we roll.
Because then let me do you receipts.
Yeah. How much was it again?
1 million naira.
Okay, write 2.5.
Mbano. The deal was for 1 million naira now.
Okay, write 3 million. I'll give you 500.
Oh no, I doesn't do business like that now. Yeah.
In that case, give me back my check. Let me go and look for someone that understand business.
Take.
Your loss. Rubbish.
Man, it is only for incorruptible customers. What are you talking?
Now get out.
What kind of this?
You will just die.
No,
You will die.
That is the door. Now get out from here.
Rubbish.
Look, my people, make una only add money for original invoice price. That's not corruption. Say no, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. You're watching TV360 News now. Nigeria's currency, the naira, has fallen 23% against the US dollar on the interbank market. Today is the first day of trading after the removal of the currency peg rate by the CBN. Nigeria's naira was quoted at 255 against the US dollar. The CBN last week said it would scrap its fixed exchange system, which has seen the currency pegged at 197 to the US dollar for the past 16 months. It says it was confident that the naira would eventually settle at 250 to the dollar. All extended gains in Asian trading on Monday. This came as a weaker US dollar and easing worries over Britain's possible exit from the European Union helped support crude oil prices. Brent crude for August delivery was up 48 cents at $49.65 per barrel. Campaigning from Britain's vote on EU membership resumed on Sunday after a 3-day hiatus prompted by the killing of a pro-EU lawmaker. The opinion polls ahead of Thursday's vote show the Remain camp recovering some momentum, although the overall picture remained one of an evenly split electorate. 5 police officials were Monday killed when their vehicle was attacked by a suspected Al-Shabaab militants in Mandera County at Somalia-Kenya border. Al-Shabaab said it was behind the deadly attack. The attack is the latest deadly incursion aimed at punishing Kenya for sending troops to Somalia. The group has previously said it would continue attacks until Kenya withdraws its troops from an African Union force fighting the militants in Somalia. More than 20 people were killed in several bomb attacks in Afghanistan on Monday. The figures include at least 14 people who were killed when a suicide bomber attacked a minibus carrying Nepalese security contractors in the Afghan capital. The attacks are the latest in a recent surge of violence that highlights the challenges faced by the Afghan government in Kabul. Moving on to sports stories now, NFF President Amaju Pinnick has said the future of the Super Eagles coach will be decided in a few weeks, but has also warned that the NFF will not be rushed into making a decision. The Eagles have been without a permanent coach since February following the resignation of Sunday Ulisi. Dream Team 6 coach Samson Siasia and former assistant coach Salisu Yusuf had both had different temporary spells with the team, with Salisu taking charge of the Eagles' 2 friendly victories in May this year. Salisu had previously expressed his interest in taking the job on a permanent basis, but Pinnick says the NFF is still undecided on who to appoint as coach. Dream Team 6 coach Samson Siasia has expressed fears that Manchester City starlet Kelechi Iheanacho may be unavailable for this Rio Olympics. The Dream Team 6 are in Group B of the Olympic football tournament alongside Sweden, Colombia and Japan. The team will open its campaign against Japan on August 4th. Siasia says the NFF has written letters to Manchester City to confirm Iheanacho's availability for the games, but so far the English club has refused to reply the letters. Liverpool defender Mamadou Sakho's hearing over a failed drug test has been scheduled for next month. The France international, who was initially suspended by UEFA for 30 days when the offence came to light, tested positive for a fat-burning substance after the Europa League tie against Manchester United in March. UEFA subsequently did not extend the ban once it had expired at the end of May, as the governing body launched its own investigation into whether the substance the centre-back took should even be on the banned list. His case will now be heard next month, although no exact date has been set. Well, that's all we have on News Now. We thank you very much for watching. I am Thelma Okoro.